All right. Next question. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's rock.
Okay. If you had to start again with $0, how would you get your first 10 clients?
Do I have any connections?
I don't know.
Like base that, yeah. I've asked you. So
just say,
zero,
like, for example,
$0,
you lost
zero
everything-
connections.
Lost everything tomorrow?
Yep. So I've got my knowledge, I've got my connections, I've got everything, I've got my experience.
You're still human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your power base is your very first place you've got to go to. Generally, when you first start a business, it's like your ideal client is anyone with a pulse, so that kind of goes out the door as far as qualifying absolutely every single
What do you
person.
mean by that when you say that? 'Cause I've
Anyone
heard
with
you
a
say it few
pulse.
times.
Yeah. Just trying to get you got to get revenue in your organization. Like,
Yeah, so
need
you
to get
will
money
do-
in. You have to do, like, you will probably take on
But I
for
think,
myself, I would probably take on a project I wouldn't normally.
yeah,
And also, for example, if I was starting out, I'd probably start a bit smaller. I wouldn't maybe go for the $10 million project day one.
yeah.
So maybe it means I have to go for the $250,000 one first up to get the ball rolling again. But your power base, so who over the course of your career, who are the 10 people that you know that you can call up and can help you? Not necessarily by giving you a client. Maybe it could be an introduction. It could be some advice. It could be help, whatever it might be. Or it could actually be a genuine client.
Yeah, like a referral or a connection.
That's right. It could even be them.
Push you in the right direction.
It could a client. The people that have
introduce you
bought
to
from you,
someone.
the people that have purchased from you in the past are the easiest people to sell to again, because they've already bought from you once. They already know what you're about. They already trust and have rapport. So I would reach out to my power base the very first thing. Then I would go out again to, say, external consultants. So let's just assume it's in construction because that's where I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back out to architects I've done a lot of work with, or engineers, other superintendents, whatever it might be, project managers or project management companies. I would go out and speak to all of those people and go, cool guys, this, and get in touch with all of them. That's where I would start for sure and go there. And then once I've got some more money together, I'd be a bit more strategic with starting to run ads. I look, the trick to winning in business these days is digital ads.
But people need to know who you are.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. Grant Cardone said this at his event the other day. He's like, put your hand up if you don't know me. And there was a few people with their hands up. Before coming to this event, put your hand up if you didn't know who I was. And I put his hand up. He goes, I apologize. That's my fault. You should know who I am. I'm obviously not doing enough.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he goes, I apologize. He goes, obviously not putting out enough ads. I'm obviously not doing enough to reach you so that you know me. That's my fault. It's not your fault that you didn't know me. It's my fault. And I genuinely feel that about business. People need to know who you are.
Well,
and I've seen it firsthand with, I won't mention who it is, but I've seen it firsthand with an Australian builder who they're just I think they're the pinnacle of where a construction company could be. And they did that exact thing. They just got their branding and their marketing 100% right. And it just catapulted them as the go-to builder in the country. Proof is in the pudding, but people will never go out there. Not will never. You see how many events we go to, and we ask the question, how many, put your hand up if you're spending money on marketing, and it's less than 5% of the room. And even those 5% that put their hand up, they're spending, $500 a month. And that's a big thing for them. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a fart in the wind.
Yeah. I agree. I think that should not be your first step.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be the first. You need some money coming in. That's why I say anyone with a pulse.
If I had to start from zero again, I would focus on the exact same thing you said. I'd reach out to all the people that I know and say, who can I help? I would probably go and do shit for free.
Yeah.
And I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I normally charge for quotes. I probably wouldn't be charging for quotes.
Yeah, I would just do anything to get my foot in the door in any way I could. And then once I secured one deal, one client, I would absolutely make sure I over-deliver.
Yeah.
In every way possible. I like this thing. There's this thing Alex Hormozy talks about, and he goes, you want to talk about your product and everyone thinks their product's good. He goes, imagine that I said to you, hey, okay, cool. Your business, we're going to change one thing. You cannot get any more referrals from architects and stuff. You cannot run any ads. You can't take any walk-ins. You can't answer the phone. We cannot get clients in any way possible. The only way we can get clients is from this one client you have. They have to refer people. How are you treating that client? And it's probably not the way you're treating them right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, how can you deliver to that extent so that that person then becomes a raving fan and goes and builds on from that?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, that'd be the one thing I'd focus on.
I'd probably also look at doing even potentially contract working too. So you might not necessarily go in and win a new project, but you might be able to contract for another builder, another consultant, whatever it might be. So someone in your niche. You might work for another marketing agency, for example, and just say, hey, I've got a wealth of experience. I'm really fucking good at this. I can become a part of your team as a contractor, and at least that gets you a wage, let's say. So you're getting some income, you're getting some bread. You don't have to take the profits from your other jobs to feed yourself. And then you can start having that steady stream. And then it'll eventually get to a point where you go, cool, at the end of the month, I'm going to stop contracting to you, or I can give you a quote and you can become one of my clients, whatever you want.
Grant Cardone says this thing, it's who's got my money?
Yeah, I love that.
Who's got my money? When he backs up against the wall, who's got my money? Who is it that needs what I'm offering right now? Who's got my money? Because they've got your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is, whatever you do, someone somewhere needs it. Your business solves a problem.
Yeah.
You need to work out who that person is and how you get in touch with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question though, because it makes you think, fuck, should I go do that now? Like, do you know what I mean? Like in the sense of, should I do more of that?
Yeah.
If that drove more revenue, like
the one thing you just said then, like a thing went off in my head and go, I've got to reach out to this person.
Yeah.
That I haven't reached out to. No, I have reached out to, I haven't gotten back to. And that's the one thing that's just out of that question. So thank you.
Okay. Another question. What should I focus on more, content or paid ads?
I think you need content before you go down the path of paid ads anyway. So let's assume you haven't got much content. Start making content. Start making content because that will help with your paid ads. You can repurpose that content and use it in ads, but also when people do come to your page, they actually see you're an active person across social media, advertising your business, sharing your expertise. So definitely starting with brand 100%. And then start looking into paid ads for sure. Because, I mean, you've had clients come to you before and I've referred you people and they just had no brand whatsoever. And you're like, listen, probably not the best thing to start spending money on ads. No one knows who you are. You don't showcase anything. Start running some ads. Start doing something.
Yeah, I would answer that a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it depends on what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they don't. I think the biggest mistake people make, and I have this, I'm gonna put this as an FAQ on the website because I get asked this so much. They want a video because they want leads.
Yeah.
And it's like wrong. Like, you know what I mean? That's like coming to me with a rugby ball and saying, let's play soccer. And it's like, you're playing the wrong game, dude. You got to ask yourself what you want in that position. Do you want more clients right now? Is that your goal? Like, do you need leads? Because if you need leads, paid ads get you leads, not brand. But if you don't need leads and you want to build a brand, you don't build a brand. Running paid ads help you build a brand over a longer period of time, but so does content. Now, your content, if you put out content regularly, which you should, that should help you convert the leads you get better, because then people see that you're genuinely a business, you're in operation, they can understand and learn a little bit more about you. Because what's the first thing we do? Yeah, 100%. What's the first thing we do when we see people think they're going to see your ad once
and buy,
and they're going to click and buy, and that's it. And it's like, that's not how it works. They will see your ad multiple times. There was a study done about this. It used to be 4 back in the day, and now it's like 20 or something.
Yeah.
How many times you have to see a business before you engage them? But yeah, my answer to that is depends on what you want. Like, if you want to build a brand because you're full of work now and you're trying to build for the future, brand trumps everything. We know that. But if you need work in the next 90 days, spending all your marketing budget on content is not going to get you down that route.
I agree.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add to that?
It's a long-term forever game. Never stops. Never stops. And despite social media now being such a prevalent part of business, I don't think there's There'd be very few companies out there these days that don't have at least an Instagram page. Do you know what I mean? It's such a core necessity that even though that's the space we're in, people are still not playing it properly.
Yeah, but even like I always tell people, like it doesn't. You just scheduling tools. Like put an hour aside, schedule 4 posts over the next 4 weeks,
Yeah.
and that's your month.
Yeah.
Like
And that's not even a lot.
that's definitely not a lot,
Yeah.
but it's like that's like just to let people know you're alive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just let them know there's a pulse here.
Yeah.
Like this business is operating. Right now our focus isn't content, but we're operating. You know what I mean? And we let you know that by constantly putting something out every now and again. Just to say, hey, like this is what we're currently working on.
Yeah.
Or this is whatever it is. You choose. There's no rules. There's ways to play the game, but there's no rules or things you can't do. Except post nudes. When should I hire my first team member?
Hire before it hurts. So don't be ridiculously busy. Have a clusterfuck of work and then hire someone, because you're going to put them into a position of chaos. You say, here, do this, do this, do this. They'll probably get overwhelmed. They probably won't like what they're doing. And then they may end up quitting or just not being the ideal person, stressed out, whatever it is. So if you put them on just before that point in time, so before it hurts you, it'll hurt you probably a little bit financially, but at least they come in and can take control of certain aspects of your business, whatever you need them to do. And then when it does get busy, because you're employing them to scale at the end of the day, when you do get those forecasted projects come through, or those clients or whatever it might be, they then have much better control on those new clients and will deliver a better product. So I like to hire before I really, really, really need them.
But so how do you know? Because you answered when
It's hard.
not to.
Yes, it is difficult. But for example, I know I've got at least 2 to 3 projects coming up now in the next month. Say the next quarter. Okay, let's do it like that. So I would start looking at hiring someone today. And I actually am. I'm in the process of hiring a new apprentice. So shoot me a DM if you're a carpentry apprentice or an apprentice carpenter looking for work. Shoot us a DM. But I don't necessarily need that person today, but I know I'm going to have that work coming up and they're going to be beneficial for me in the future. So yes, he may not be the busiest person for the next month. Big deal. I will be able to find enough work for him to do. And then when we are busy, he's got plenty of work. He's not overwhelmed. He knows all our systems. He knows our policies, our procedures, how we operate. And it's a much smoother transition to have them in.
Is there a particular marker you look for? Like if someone or this person asking the question, like how would they know if they're... How do you know if you are in the position where you're going to need this person eventually? Like what's the give? Because you're saying... Don't wait until you're too busy.
What do you look at? I suppose look at what you're doing in the business. Is this the very first hire? Are we saying, or just a hire?
Question was first.
Yeah. Okay. First hire. Look at what you are doing. If you are spending 2 days doing invoicing because you are that busy that you have to spend 2 days doing invoicing, you can hire someone to do that. Even start off hiring someone part-time. Say part-time position with the intention to be full-time within the next 3 months. So that way, at least they're coming in 2-3 days a week, taking that aspect of work off your plate, taking control of it. And then eventually, as you get busier, look at what you're doing and what's taking up the most amount of your time that isn't necessarily helping you in your business growth. Because although invoicing is important, it's not going to help you grow your organization. Although the scheduling of posts and branding is important, it's not going to necessarily get you to that next level by you doing that. So what tasks can you start to give to someone else? That's where I would look at it as a sole person. But yeah, if you don't have the actual cash flow to do it right now and hire that next person, like put a part-time position on.
Yeah. Or hire a VA.
That's right.
Like they can take most of your admin stuff
That's right.
away from you as long as you're cloud-based.
Even do, I get a lot of students asking for internships. If that's something you're interested in, do it. Simon, who works for me, my construction manager, started as an intern and he's been with me for 7 years. He started working for free and good on him. Like he saw the value. He just wanted to come in and learn and see how everything's done and what it's doing. And now he's an excellent, high-performing member of the team. But that's At the time when he started, I said to him, I said, listen, I don't have something for you to do at the moment. But if you want to come in and shadow me for a little bit, I can give you some stuff. And I taught him a few things here and there. This is how we do this. This is how we do this. He did take some work off. And I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, do you want to come and work for me 2-3 days a week? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Came 2-3 days a week. And then after that, we just won a big project. And I'm like, cool. I don't actually need him. I could manage this project on my own. But fuck it. Here you go. You're on full time now. Put him on. And then that allowed me to concentrate on not just delivering that one project, but focusing on getting another 2. And then all of a sudden we had 3 projects. And then he was looking after 3. And then I could see he's getting a bit busy because then we won 4 and 5. I'm like, cool, let's put on someone else. Let's put on more people on site. So it'll start to snowball effect. The business will get used to paying for these things.
Yeah.
It will get used to it. And then you're like, oh, wow, like how did I ever live without this person in my life? You know,
Set the new
base. Yeah, the new bar. And it's
because most people who have had employees will hire employees very fast as soon as they start a business.
You'll never go back. Once you have employees,
they're like,
you never
we
go
need
back.
someone, get someone in to do the stuff that I don't need to be doing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to go through that journey as well to learn that, okay, I shouldn't be doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Even though I did it at the start and you're wearing many hats when you first start a business, it's like, okay,
Totally fine.
this is now, it's not benefiting anyone to have me do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's actually a loss. We can get this done. We can get this managed by someone else. If you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. And if you want to watch the full episode, click just over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and thanks for watching.